Welcome to the Heart of Real Estate podcast with Mike McFarland and Steven Salinas with the Mortgage Mike Group. On the podcast, Mike and Steven discuss with top producing real estate agents what makes them successful, unique, and purpose-filled. Each episode holds a key to unlocking a door to financial freedom. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Heart of Real Estate podcast.
Yes, yeah. I'm so excited for this one.
Oh, my gosh.
We're going to just start off by introducing our guest, Amanda Klam. One thing about Amanda, Mike and I talk about it, like what, if we can describe our guest as like a superhero.
Right.
Amanda's kind of a mix of, I personally said Batman, because Batman has the best preparation and skill set and wins by planning and focus. And then Mike, you said
I said
Superman
because he's got the laser eyes,
laser focus,
that laser focus.
But and we're gonna dig into why we think that. I'm excited for this one because personally, I feel like we've learned a lot just from meeting Amanda. Amanda, tell us about yourself. Tell us who you're with, your experience, and then we'll kind of just dig into, what makes you successful in the business.
Okay. Well, yes. Thank you for that introduction. I am Amanda Klam. I'm a dual agent. I have been with Keller Williams Professionals for 8 years now. I am also an educator, and I have been in education for 14 years. So I do both. I'm also a mom. I'm a wife, mother to 3 girls, 11, 9, and 6, almost 7.
Goodness gracious.
And I've been with my husband combined, we've been together about 20 years.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So I'm hearing, like, first off, I don't hear dual career. I'm hearing like multiple job roles, right? That you have. You're a successful real estate agent, by the way. And on top of being a full-time teacher, you're a mom, a wife, right?
I forgot one more.
Okay, what's that one?
I'm in grad school.
Grad school. Okay.
Wow.
Classes done.
Okay.
And you're done.
It's the laser focus.
What are you going to grad school for?
Urban development.
Urban development. Okay.
Wow. A&M.
I love it,
Steven.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And whenever we say, I know you say you're a dual agent. One of the craziest things, I mean, we talk about it in our industry a lot, is it possible to be a dual agent or a dual loan officer? Most people would say you can't do it,
right? But
I think most people aren't as focused and prepare as much as you do. Mm-hmm. Tell us, why is that so important to you? How has that translated into your success? Because you've even had people ask you, hey, I'm a full-time realtor.
Right.
How can I do what you're doing? Right. You're a teacher, a mom in grad school. How can I get to your level? Right. Tell us about that.
It's funny you say that because I got a text from my cousin 2 days ago, and he's a full-time agent with my office, and he's very supportive. He helps me a lot when I am in school and I can't do things. I can reach out to him, and we're in this group chat, and he goes, okay, what's the competition for 2023? Are we really going to allow another part-time agent beat us in our numbers? Yeah. And I said, well, what do I win? Like, we don't even need the competition. Like, I've done it the past 2 years. What are we going to do it? So it is possible, but I think for a lot of people, they, like what you said, they don't have the mindset. You have to start. It's not about going out there and getting listings and networking. Before any of that, before you put your business into place, your strategies, whatever it is you want to do, you have to have the correct mindset, and you have to have the correct atmosphere around you. And by atmosphere, I mean, what is your current atmosphere, which is your bubble, your circle. Who helps you? Who doesn't help you? What is on your plate? That your personal self and your personal life first has to be organized before you can bring in that other layer. It's almost like an onion, you're peeling back layers at a time, but that core center has to be, it has to be centered, and it has to be focused, and you have to know that, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm trying to achieve. Now, who's going to be in my corner to help me? And
Mhm.
what do I need to do to get there? And so in the beginning, when I decided to go into real estate and not quit teaching, it was a challenge. It was a challenge because there was no one there to really teach me or guide me or tell me these things. It was very much learned in trial and error. And there was nights where I'm staying up late after teaching all day, and my
Wow.
kids were younger, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to process paperwork, and I'm trying to understand the paperwork
Mhm.
that I was doing. And I really felt like I had to do it by myself, all alone, and literally at the point of breakdowns.
Mm.
And so it wasn't until I got to that low point that I realized successful people are successful because there's other people around them that are helping them to become successful. It is
Wow.
very much not a one-man show. And if you go into it with that mindset that you have to do it by yourself, that no one's going to help you or no one cares to help you, then the struggle will be real and it will be there.
That's
Wow.
a golden nugget right
I love that. That's
Wow.
so true. And yeah, your community is so important.
Mhm.
You know, when you're in like a community or you have your sphere around you, you're kind of giving to each other.
Yeah.
And in different ways, you know, you're providing for each other's needs. And it's a really cool way to live. Yeah, I really like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to start your day with gratitude, whether
Okay.
whoever you say that gratitude to, whatever your
Mm-hmm.
beliefs are, and don't get me wrong, there are days where, I wake up and I think, okay, I lay there for a minute, I try not to just jump out of bed because the normal me would do that because I'm like, okay, go, 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 do, do, do.
Mhm.
But I really do try to wake up and give myself a couple minutes to just lay there and think about the day and think about what's coming and think about what it is that I need to achieve that day and kind of have this mental checklist of what is coming and prioritize it.
Mhm.
One foot in front of the other.
Mhm.
I'm only one person when it comes to what I have to handle for me. So I can only do one thing at a time. But these other things that also need to be accomplished can be outsourced to that atmosphere and that circle around me to
Mhm.
help me get those things done.
Yeah.
And so I don't try to keep those things. So it's almost like taking that checklist in your brain or on your paper and dividing it into a T chart. And like, this is what
Okay.
I do. This is what you do, and where I need help and
Right.
where I'm going to fall short and not try to tackle it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, so the wisdom of just starting out, especially if you're trying to do this from a dual perspective, you're not alone. You can't be alone, right? You can't do this alone.
No.
So assemble your team, whatever
Yes.
that is, your support team around you. And if it's your vendors, or I think even mentioned your husband,
Yes.
or like even your other family members that may need to help take care of your children, right? So assemble your team
Right.
so you can delegate
Right.
responsibilities. And then I think that idea for you, the one foot in the next step, right, is just
Yeah.
what's the next most
Right.
important thing I have to do,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's
And it really is starting there. And that's something that I don't just apply to my real estate life. I apply it with my kids. I
Mhm.
apply it with my husband. Every aspect, my teaching career,
yeah,
Mhm.
teaching can be very overwhelming. I mean,
yeah,
be nice to your teachers because they wear many, many hats. So on top of all that, I'm with children all day. And
Mhm.
so there's a lot of hats I have to wear in that role. And so your calmness and your demeanor is just super important to your overall health and your overall well-being and how you
Mhm.
perceive things. And you have to create that atmosphere around you. And if there's someone in that atmosphere that isn't giving you that or is taking from it,
Mhm.
then you remove them
Got it.
because they're not going to help you in
Right.
in the long run.
Right.
And when you're planning your day, you have to know the difference between this is my plan and this is my schedule.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people think a plan is a schedule, and a plan and a schedule are two totally different things. Like my plan, this is my plan, this is what I want to do today,
Mhm.
but what is the schedule that I'm going to follow to achieve it?
Right.
And just writing it on paper isn't, and checking those boxes off
Yeah.
your schedule. Okay, but what was your plan to get you there is important.
Got it.
I think most people would say like, and it's common in our industry to do, like, plans and vision boards and,
Right.
setting goals for 2023. This is
That's
my
the plan.
year. This is
Yeah.
my year, right?
Yeah.
And tell us about your schedule. I mean, how did you learn to schedule, and what does your schedule look like?
Crazy, but organized. It's an
Organized chaos. Yeah,
Yes, it's
there
an
it is.
organized chaos. I'm a planner by nature. That is just me. Even as a kid,
Yeah.
I was very organized, very structured. It's been my whole life. And I think back and I reflect on like, okay, how did I get here? Like how did I become this person? And you kind of look back at your past and you take little bits and pieces. And, I do chop it up a lot to my parents as well. My parents are very driven. They're very they're hard workers.
Mhm.
In high school, I was in drill team. I worked and I went to school an hour early to get that class out of the way so I didn't have to take it my senior year. So I've always had this in me.
Mhm.
It's just knowing when to tap into it, right? And so as far as organization, I think you either have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, it doesn't mean you can't get it. It
Mhm.
just means you need to work a little bit harder to figure out how you're going to get it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I wake up, I give thanks, I give gratitude, I meditate in my own head in my own way,
Mhm.
take my shower because I'm not going to wake up if I don't. I'm not very much of a morning person. I will say that I'm not a morning person. Don't call me at 7:30
Yeah.
because I'm going to ignore you. Like there's time, and then there's times, my phone's going off, and I will put my phone on silent. You got to disconnect,
Mhm.
and for me, I have to disconnect in the morning so I can focus on my clarity for the day.
Mhm.
Get up, feed my part of my circle are my parents. There's no way I can do what I do without the support of my parents and my husband. My parents come to my house every single morning.
What a blessing.
Yes.
Wow.
They come to my house
Kids.
every single morning and they cook my children a full course breakfast.
I bet they love that.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to have my me time and I'm allowed to,
Wow.
get dressed and do what I got to do. And then my dad, walks my daughter, my oldest, to the bus stop because she rides the bus to school. And so that is that support. Like, okay, that's one thing that's on the right side of that T chart. Like my mom has breakfast. I can worry about me and just my girls are old enough now where they can get themselves dressed, but
Mhm.
I, do their hair and stuff. So that's the support right there with that. And then we go off to school and then I'm at school. And then when I have things that are real estate needed, I have my husband, I have my lender, I have my title company, I have my cousin, that all jump into those holes throughout my day.
Yeah.
And if it's something dire emergency, my husband will text me like, hey, on your lunch, handle this or do that.
Mhm.
But with real estate, it is really one of those jobs where a lot happens after hours because people that are looking to buy homes work. So their time to look at houses to return phone calls or when they're not working either. So it's kind of just learned to balance itself out. But the support that I have is tremendous, inside my circle.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so insightful. And I just that's a lot of wisdom and experience. And
Thank you.
yeah, you've learned it pretty quickly. Well, you've had to. I
Yeah.
mean, you didn't have the luxury
No.
of not figuring that out quickly. Otherwise, you would have lost your mind.
Yeah. Which I almost did. Came very,
Right.
very close.
Yeah,
Came very,
nervous
very close.
breakdown.
Well, people
and that's
go,
it.
yeah, people run into burnout.
Yeah.
Whenever you don't schedule, you kind of allow everyone else to control,
Yeah.
your time.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, you're so desperate. I think a lot of agents in the very beginning, they just want to make that dollar
Mhm.
Mhm.
that, and I was there. I'm not going to say I wasn't. I was. I'm like, okay, I want the next deal. I want the next deal. But you have to discipline your time. And it's at the point where like, I don't work on Sundays. Sunday is my day. It's my day with my family. It's my day to go to church. It's my day to prepare for the week.
Yeah.
That if I allow something to come in and move that schedule around, it must be super, super important for me to do that. That it's okay to not return the phone call right then and there, that those people will survive. You know, you can't allow someone else to come in and control your time. And in real estate, I think a lot of realtors think, these are my clients. They tell me what to do. They tell me when to do it. I need to jump when they say jump. And in the beginning, yes, because you want that client, but you also have to respect yourself enough to know that that's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
And I always tell my clients, I want to work with you if you want to work with me. Like I don't force myself. I'm not a vulture. I don't do anything that I was trained to do. God honest truth. Everything, and I love Keller Williams, but everything that I've read, everything that realtors are told, oh, cold calls and door knocks and call your cousin and your cousin of your cousin, and no, I've never have done any of that. That's not
I
how
think
grown
I think
up.
it shows how everybody is unique. Because we've talked to somebody, through the same, Keller Williams training, and they're doing successful, but we realize that it's really the unique characteristics about the individual, and how they use pieces of it to, create their business and plug in and make it successful. It's really cool to, I know, hear like your perspective on it. I think it connects with, the one side of the, I don't know if it's 50-50 with the population, but like some people are more planners, organized, they get things done through processes. Other people are, the all over the place. They're
Right.
knocking and running and all this different stuff. But it just shows that the unique way that you do it, it's going to connect with, a person that thinks like that and wants to do business like that.
How do you, so let's take that back to, you just got started, right? And so we know one of the lessons was you got to surround yourself with the team, and you figured that out. You're a full-time teacher, a mom, a wife. And when do you have time to develop business? Like, how is it that you were able to put yourself, how did you develop business, right? I mean, what was
develop and maintain?
like, how did you do it? I mean, in the midst of all that you're doing, you have to insert, oh, I'm a real estate agent and there somewhere, right? What did that look like? How did you do that?
That's exactly, I just inserted it in every aspect of my life. So in the very beginning, I did do a lot of open houses for other agents, other successful agents. I would do open houses for them to meet my clients. And I do a lot of social, I think we kind of talked about this before, like I do a lot of online social presence. And it's not just real estate. I don't just put my real estate business out there. I show pictures of my home. I show pictures of my kids. I show that, yes, I'm a realtor, but I'm also all these other, things. I wear all these other hats too. And I just really try to find a connection. I think it's important that anything you do in business, you have to listen to whatever it is you're trying to bring towards you. You have to listen to those clues. You have to listen to the people that are in front of you talking. So when I would do open houses, I would listen. I wouldn't hover. I wouldn't follow them around like a little lost puppy. Which they tell you, follow them, talk to them, ask, no, I would not talk. I would let the future client talk to me. See what it is that they want in a home, because I don't sell houses. I sell homes. And I always tell my clients, I am not going to put you somewhere or in something that I wouldn't put my own family in. And I think that's really important. Like, you have to develop the connection, that personal connection with your clients. Talk to them like they're your friend or your family member, create that closeness. Yes, keep it professional, but let them know, what's going on in your life too, or just find a way to make that connection with them. And so when I would network or I would go places, and I would talk to people, and I would bring in or loop in that I'm also a realtor, when you come off that you're easy to talk to and they feel comfortable talking to you, they brought me the business.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and it was really just in conversations of talking and sharing my thoughts and my feelings and letting people know, well, she's like me, or she's gone through something I've gone through,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you know,
Being authentic
yes,
and being intentional.
absolutely.
And listening.
Listening. Exactly.
Listening. I mean,
It's a simple, hard thing to do.
Yes.
right.
I personally am learning to be a better listener
Mhm.
and not thinking of my response
Right.
as someone else is
Or
talking.
how it relates to you in the sense of, well, I handled it this way. You know, you have to take it from their perspective
Right.
of what they want.
Right.
And it's not just real estate. I mean, in
And
any
everything.
in everything.
Yeah.
You know, with my students, you
Right.
know, take time to listen to
Mhm.
why they're sad or why they're frustrated or anything.
That's that. Okay. So the common thing, I mean, there's there's just this commonality with successful real estate agents and teachers. And I think it comes through what you said, just you have to take the time to care
Yes.
and hear these, you're like that skill set of caring enough for a child and listening to what really is going on, so that you can connect with them. I'm totally hypothesis on this. I don't even know if this is right or not, but I just feel like that's got to be, that's probably the trait that is pulled out and is so successful in real estate. Because the truth is, when somebody's buying a home, they are like children
Mhm.
because they don't really know. They've not done this before.
Yeah, they're learning.
Scared.
Learning scared.
Right. They may have had a traumatic experience if they have bought a home before. And so you've got to work through all of that.
You're also my undergrad's in psychology, and I thought I'd never use it. But no, I use it every day.
Oh yeah.
I do. I use it every day. I'm like, okay, whether it be
Uh,
children or adults,
right.
you're going to use it. And people just want to be heard, and they want their opinion and their you know, thoughts to be, you know, listened to.
Yeah.
And so when you do that and you apply that in real estate, I think it has helped me to have that connection with my clients,
Yeah.
and then they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's go with her.
Right.
I don't know. I give off that vibe, I guess. I try to give off that positive vibe to them. Like, I'm here. I heard you. I understand what you're looking for. Now let's go see if we can find it.
So good.
That's amazing. And that is one thing, you know, you can't teach someone, you know, how to have a good like culture and have a good
A caring heart.
a caring heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are things. I mean, you can teach someone how to run a schedule, but you can't teach someone how to care for somebody.
Right.
You know, and
But I also think it goes to that mindset.
it
It goes
does.
back to it circles back to that beginning. You have to have that mindset. Like, you can't have that, you know, oh, I got to do this today and I got to do that today. And I'm not going to get home till 8 o'clock tonight. You know, you got to tell yourself, I may not get home till 8 o'clock tonight, but I have a home. My kids are going to be fed. They're going to be taken care of. You know, we're going to do something fun tomorrow.
Mhm.
You got to find those positives in those negatives,
Yeah.
which it's very easy to get lost in the negative. It's very easy to get lost in the what ifs. I have my moments of weakness where I get lost in my own thought, in my own head, in my own negative, but then I quickly try to snap back out of it and look for the positives in the negative situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when we were talking, you said you know, it's a blessing to be busy.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
you're when you do have that mindset, you do take care of people in a different way. When they
Mhm.
call you, you're not upset that
strung
they're
or
calling you
stressed.
while you're having dinner with your
Yeah.
family, right? So you just have a different mindset. And I think a lot of people can learn. I mean, the people that are listening, I think they can learn, you know, just having the right mindset as soon as you wake up.
Yep.
Flows into the rest of your day, and
Oh,
how
yeah.
you manage your day impacts your results and
Yeah.
reaching the goals of your plan.
Yeah. And realizing what I can do and what
Mhm.
someone else can do.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
not trying to, it took me a long time to be okay with allowing others to help me.
Right on.
You know, you know, even Batman and Superman, everybody else had their you know,
Yeah, they've all got somebody.
They have
Ryan
somebody.
Robin, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
Robin, yes, that's yes, that would be my husband. He's Robin.
yeah.
I bet he would love to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he'll hear it.
Well, Amanda, I really, I'm thankful you came on and, just shared some of your wisdom, for the person listening, going into 2023, I think this is perfect, to get started, all the people with plans, it's time to set schedules. It's time to measure.
Yes.
It's time to build a great community. But yeah, we're so thankful that you came on.
Thank
We're
you.
so excited for people to listen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else we got to go with that?
No, I think we're good.
I want to share this because I feel like it's, and I've been meditating on this, and when I'm hearing you speak, I'm just there's this mirroring back of first Thessalonians 5, 16, 17, and 18. Rejoice always, in all circumstances. Pray constantly, and in all circumstances give thanks, for this is the will of the Lord in Christ Jesus for you.
Amen.
And it's the mindset. And I think, and I'm just reminded, like, no matter the struggle, again, man, there's a place to rejoice even in the struggle. There's a place to be thankful when a negative comes up, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so just thank you, by the way, just for you just reflecting that back to me the entire time we were speaking. So I had to share that because I just felt that way. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's Mike's wisdom.
Yeah.
So Amanda, there are times when we have to just overcome obstacles, right? And so is there a time or a situation that you've had where you've had to overcome an obstacle and it made you better? And if so, what is that?
So one thing in real estate is you have to have thick skin. And in the beginning, I did not have thick skin. I'm not, a confrontational person, I guess I would say. And, I had a good friend of mine reach out to me, wanted to buy a house, and I represented her. And that's where I realized that I pushed so much of myself on social media, but then it bit me back with this incident. And the deal went great. She got the house, but there was a lot of little issues that kind of played out. And I wholeheartedly believe that however you focus yourself and your mind and your thoughts, that is what brought to you. Whatever you put out into the universe is what is going to be brought back, right? And from the beginning of this particular deal, everything just was a little harder. It wasn't a smooth transaction. And when clients are relaxed and the agent is relaxed, the deal is relaxed, and it goes on seamlessly.
We know that's
right?
the truth.
Yes. But when there's one little bad seed in there and it just blossoms, it's just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Nothing I seem to do is working to allow this client to appreciate what I'm doing and feel that I have their back.
Right.
And so after the deal was done, she completely blasted me on social media,
So nice.
on local neighborhood pages. And I had friends that didn't know I represented her, even commenting on her post, bashing me, but had no idea who I was and did not have the full story of the situation of what transpired.
Yeah.
And I do believe there's always two sides to the story.
You know it.
Yeah.
And so that whole thing, it really put me in that negative mindset. It really had me second guess of if what I was doing was meant for me. Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Was she my friend? Did she understand how this was making me feel? It wasn't even about her bashing my name. It was more, she's not looking at this from anyone's else's angle but hers.
Right.
And I think when you do that, you enclose yourself and you kind of put a capsule around your thoughts, and you're not open to what else or how this is hurting someone else. And I reached out to her. We had a long conversation, and I politely asked her to take it down, but because she said so many hurtful things, that what the site actually took it down.
Yeah.
And it made me take a step back in my business, and it made me think, okay, I was upset. It hurt bad. She even went to my wedding.
Man.
Yes. So we weren't just friends, we were good friends.
Mhm.
And the first thing I think you need to learn in real estate, and they tell you, go call your friends, call your family. I'm not calling anyone
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
I don't want to, because I don't want this to repeat.
Yeah.
And in real estate, does it burn a little bit when a friend or family member doesn't hurt you?
Mhm.
Absolutely, it does. You're like,
Yeah.
dang, why didn't they call me?
Right.
Why can't I represent them? But you also have to sometimes look at the blessing of it and be like, there's a reason why I'm not representing them.
For sure.
Sometimes when those lines are too
Close.
too
or
close,
overlapping.
too
Yeah.
tangled together,
Yeah.
maybe you don't want to represent them,
Right.
because you don't want to jeopardize that friendship or
Mhm.
that relationship with that person. And this isn't the first time that a friend didn't
Mhm.
use me. Not to say it still doesn't hurt, but after that incident, I realized, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
They got
Mhm.
their house, they're happy. That's all that matters.
Right.
Whether I earned $1 on it or not,
Mhm.
they're happy.
Mhm.
And you have to look at it from the other person's perspective.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes like the relationship is more important than the sale.
Yes.
So if the friendship is that close,
Right.
then perhaps because I'm sure there's plenty of people, Stephen, you and I both know that are like, and I like them. I probably don't want to do their loan.
Yeah.
Because it's just I don't want to. I know
You don't want to
there's
intertwine
going to
with
be
that.
friction
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
that messes up our relationship, and the relationship to me is always the most important thing.
Right. Right. And unfortunately, that relationship with that friend was dissolved
Oh, so sad.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, that's a good lesson, right?
it was a great
yeah.
lesson. It was a great lesson, and it hasn't been repeated. Which was nice. And so I just, as new agents come in and they tell you to reach out, be careful who
Yeah.
you choose to reach out to when you are using that,
Right.
circle of influence of friends.
Yeah, okay. Because there's an aspect of we're putting ourselves out there in a service capacity.
Right.
And if we're doing that, we're usually doing that because we care for. And
Mhm.
I would say, at least from my point of view, I'm a pleaser. And that's when it hurts,
Yeah.
when pleasing it doesn't take place, right?
I'm a giver.
You're a giver.
I'm a
Okay,
giver.
got
And
it.
so same feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you? You had
let me
some
jump
really
in.
cool questions, Stephen.
Yeah. So let's take a second to imagine, you were invited to, I don't know, I'm gonna make up a conference, realtors of the world, right? And they're like, Amanda, I need you to come on and I need you to share, 3 pieces of wisdom to the realtors of the world that you feel like, if you didn't do these things, it would be impossible to run your business. These are the key things. If you could share 3 things
Okay.
with the realtors of the world, what would you share?
Okay. So the first one I would say is definitely remove toxic people or things out
Okay.
of your life.
Okay.
If they don't bring you joy, if they don't bring you happiness, if they don't wish you well. And I think that's when you have to learn to listen to your heart and listen to your body internally, because your body will tell you
Mhm.
Yeah.
read other people's
Yeah.
energy.
Oh yeah.
So important, and I'm like, if you're bad energy, just
Mhm.
go over there. I don't want to be around it. Right.
Mhm.
I think that's because that goes back to, again, that first circle and that atmosphere you're trying to first develop. If you allow them to come in, it's going to disrupt that.
Mhm.
So anything that is negative, anything that, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be a person. Sometimes it can just be yourself. You have
Mhm.
to get yourself out of that mindset.
So good.
Yeah, because sometimes a person's enemy is their self. Their
Right
greatest
on.
enemy is their self. And
Yeah.
you
I
just
think almost every time it's
Yeah.
the case,
You
right?
be too
Yeah.
hard on
too
yourself.
hard on yourself,
critical.
and been there, done that, because if you don't shift and heal that mindset, you're not going to achieve that success you're
Yeah.
trying to get to.
Right.
That's great. Such a great lesson.
The next one that I discovered just going through the motions of life: be friends with people that are better than you in any aspect. Be friends with people that are better than you. And by that, I mean, friends or people that you inspire to be,
Yeah.
that you want to be like. They may not even know that they're your mentor
Mhm.
or you desire to be like them when you grow up. But when you're friends with those types of people, it's going to push you
Yeah.
in that direction
Right.
of, okay, if they can do it, I can do it,
Mhm.
you know? And so
Wow.
when I got into real estate, I read lots of books and learning, never stop learning, never stop growing. Even if you take a break in reading a book on real estate, I read lots of self-help books,
Yeah.
lots of self-help podcasts,
Yeah.
mindsets of ways of thinking. Like on the way over here, I was listening to a podcast, you know, on
Yeah.
your mindset, on shifting your thoughts.
I love it.
Even if that is something I do daily already, it doesn't hurt because I always learn something new when I listen to it.
Right.
So you want to have someone in front of you that is not just a vision board, but a vision person
Mhm.
that you inspire to be like.
Mhm.
I think that is also, you know, and when you're looking up to them, you don't want to look at them with jealousy
Right.
or enviness or hate that
Mhm.
they're better than you, or they're
Mhm.
making more money than you, or they have a nicer house than you, because then that defeats the purpose
Right.
of
Right.
why they're better than you,
Mhm.
you know? So you have to, you know, make sure that when you see someone else that is being successful, that it warms your heart
Mhm.
that they're successful,
Yeah.
and that, hey, I can do that too.
You rise to the level of thinking you're around,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah, if you're around people that think at a higher level than you can't help but
Yes.
begin to think in that capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say the last one is just want more. It's okay to want more. It's okay to dream big. It doesn't mean you're greedy. It doesn't mean you're not happy with what you have. But I don't think if you're constantly pushing yourself and having that grit and that determination,
Yeah.
that, okay, what's next? I achieved this and this.
Mhm.
What do I want to achieve next?
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, you know, materialistic or learning or business or whatever.
Mhm.
It's okay to dream big and want more and put that positive out into the world, because then it will come back to you 10 times fold.
Wow. I would imagine just everyone standing up and clapping after,
Right. Exactly.
after that. That's so good. I think
Thank you.
those are all really great pieces of wisdom.
Yeah.
And even if we take one of those and apply it,
Mhm.
we would just be such better people in our communities, honestly.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I love it.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the Heart of Real Estate podcast. If you found this episode thought-provoking and helpful, do us a favor and share it with 2 of your friends. Also, feel free to leave any comments or reviews. And if you want to learn more about the Mortgage Mike Group, reach out. We'd love to connect.